Hi, my name is Jaycee Choi, and I am an MBTI socionics as well as an Enneagram enthusiast who also has some tips for productivity. So today I'm going to be talking about what to do the night before an exam. So I'm sure you've all come to a point where you're like, should I sleep because it's the night before the exam, or should I study because it's the night before exam? Should I just cram in as much as I can, or is it better to get the full amount of sleep? And you hear like conflicting advice from people. Most people tell you that you should sleep before an exam, but time and again you find people pulling those all-nighters and just staying up and studying all night. So I had a friend who asked me well, what do you do? What do you do before an exam? Because they've seen me pull my fair share of all-nighters, but they've also seen me just sleep at 10 p.m. before an exam. So today I want to break down what I do the night before an exam, between sleeping versus studying. So first of all, I think it depends on what type of exam it is. In general, at least as a science major, there are 2/3 main types of exams that you get. Number one, there's the multiple choice exam. For a multiple choice exam, the most important thing is that you are able to recognize the words that are on the page. You just need to have recognition of things that you've seen before. So for those kind of exams, the most important thing, honestly, is just that you've seen it all before. It doesn't matter, because if it's a multiple choice question and it asks you, generally, out of the 4 options, the answer that you remember out of those 4 is usually the right one. And you don't have to have memorized it. You just need to be able to remember and recognize something while you see it, right? There are also different types of exams, which are recollection exams, where there's a blank and you have to fill in the blank. So it's not you see options and you choose one of them. It's you literally have to pull it from your brain. So for those kinds of exams, I would suggest, for the ones where you have to recall, I would suggest that you sleep, because sleep is what actually strengthens that pathway in your head where you make sure you remember the things that you practiced recalling time and again. But for recognition exams, where you just need to see it there and choose the option, for those ones, if I have not studied a sufficient amount, I find that there's no big deal, and honestly just staying up all night to study for those. You just need to read and be able to recognize everything that will show up on an exam. But for an exam where you have to actually recall stuff, then I would suggest that you do sleep. So I guess it depends on what kind of exam it is. If it's creative writing, if you have time to make an outline beforehand, then you could always just make the outline, memorize it, and you don't have to sleep. But if it's something where it's a prompt that you've never heard of and you have to come up with it organically, then yeah, you should sleep. So honestly, it's a very case-by-case sort of basis, and I will also have videos in the future of how to memorize efficiently, effectively, or studying smarter, not longer, and why studying that isn't helpful feels more gratifying, but studying in a way that doesn't feel gratifying is more helpful. So I'm going to have all these sorts of videos, and this is just the kickoff of my productivity series. So if you like this kind of content, go ahead and look at these videos. If you're just here for the typology stuff, that's fine too. Just seek those out. But anyway, yeah, so night before exam, sleep versus study. My answer as an NE-DOM is it depends. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in on this video, and I'll see you next time.